All right, Tuesday night Krug show. Raj is in the house. The Niners did big things on trade deadline day. Woo-wee! I lied. Niners did not do big things. If you just watch the tease, it was a great tease, though. It was a great tease, and it really held the audience there. Welcome to the Krug Show, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. Do not miss the 49ers bye week Krug Show, Pig and a Pickle meet and greet. We will be at Pig and a Pickle in week 14 on Sunday. Stop by, have some brisket chili, watch some NFL, hang out, and enjoy some fantastic barbecue, and hopefully we'll talk some ball. Looking forward to it. So we will give you some hard dates on that, but it's week 14, the Sunday of week 14. But welcome to the Krug Show, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're great. It's best barbecue you're going to find. Raj, the trade deadline day came. The trade deadline day went. And the 49, there was a lot of action. Sauce Gardner traded. Quinnen Williams traded. The Seahawks got help. The Eagles got help. The Rams added a corner last week. Seemed like everybody got better. The Niners added Keon White in a trade last week, but nothing today at the deadline. And there's a lot of pissed off 49er fans. And there's a lot of disappointed Niner fans, and I'm one of them. How'd you feel about the fact that the Niners didn't do squat today?
Yeah, I was disappointed. I know where the fans are. They're pretty upset. I know a lot of them been chiming in, and I don't blame them for being mad. I mean, at the very least, Larry, I didn't expect them to get like a big name like Quinnen Williams or Sauce Gardner. Those were unbelievable. That was crazy. I didn't expect anybody like that, but felt like you could have at least got an Arden Key for like a 7th round pick. At least, I mean, this defensive line is battered up. You lost Michael. I mean, you got Keon White. I like Clelin Ferrell, but you look at this D line right now. It's battered up. I get it. The injuries were there. You can't predict all those injuries, but you're 6-3. It's a wide open NFC. The Super Bowl is in your house this year. It's in Levi Stadium. You owe it to this fan base to at least say you're going to fight. At least they could have got Arden Key. I mean, Jesus, out of everybody, they didn't even get one guy. I feel like they could have made a move. I mean, it tells me that they're happy with this team the way it is. I know they tried to get Jermaine Johnson from the Jets, but they were standing pat on the 2nd round pick. But really, if you think about it, like, okay, you don't want to give up the 2nd round pick, but the 49ers draft picks under John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, those first few picks are usually not that great. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd rather take a proven guy that can help us than a gamble on an unknown commodity in the draft. Like late round picks, the Niners are great at, but early picks, the Niners are just not good at it. So I would have taken the gamble, throw the 2nd round pick, and see what you could land. You could have got a proven star. I'm bummed out, Larry. I really am. I'm bummed out.
I know. You know, and your feeling, Raj, is there's lots of Niner fans that feel exactly like you. I tweeted about it. This is what I tweeted. I said, I'm very disappointed very disappointing trade deadline day for the 49ers. Where is the pass rush going to come from? Eagles got better. Seahawks got better, and the 49ers didn't. Their pass rush has been almost completely non-existent since Bosa went down. Their young DBs are likely to have their confidence shattered by consistently having very little rush up front. Stafford, Puka, Kyron, Devontae, they're coming to town this Sunday. Buckle up. And, okay, so that was my take, right? And I go to the comments. SCH, bad take, Larry. Wow. It's remarkable. We are 6-3, missing so many star players, but we are not one player away from contending. Why deplete our draft picks to overpay for a depth player when realistically we will not even make it far in the playoffs? Let the young players battle. Okay? I mean, on one hand, this is a guy telling me I have a bad take, but he has a bad take when he says he doesn't think they're going to do anything in the playoffs. Why? Why are they not going to do anything in the playoffs? They can beat every team in the NFC. I mean, I don't – they've already beaten the Rams in L.A. They've already beaten Seattle in Seattle. They're 5-1 in the conference. They're 3-0 in the division. It's not. This is not some horseshit team. This team has a Hall of Fame left tackle. It's got a Hall of Fame running back. It still has an awful lot of talent. So I don't know about that. I don't know about the bad take. Yeah. Well, and 1 second, why is it a bad take to say that you're disappointed that the 49ers didn't get better?
I agree.
Bad take there. I can't be disappointed that the 49ers, who are 6-3 and are in the midst of their Super Bowl window with Hall of Fame players on the roster, 2 quarterbacks that you can win games with, a totally wide open division, a wide open conference, and because I want to see them add something to their non-existent pass rush and their depleted defense, that suddenly it's a bad take that they're going no. I mean, which one is it? Are they crappy and they're going nowhere and they're not worth watching, or are they a sleeper team in the NFC that can beat anybody at any given day? And who knows? I mean, it's like, I feel like if I turned negative and said, the Niners fucking suck, the Niners aren't going anywhere, the Niners are cooked, there'd be a million people calling me Debbie Downer. Oh, Greg, you're so negative, this and that. They got a shot, this and that. So now I'm saying, hey, I'm kind of disappointed. I think they got a shot. I think they could actually contend if they got a little help. And suddenly it's a bad take, and it's like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And now that was just one guy. We had another guy who's like, wow, Lynch just punted the season while we're at 6-3. Bethune and Winters playing lights out. Need a third down pass rusher to pair with Huff and make it at least interesting. Not to mention 3-0 in the division, 5-1 in a wide open conference. Opportunity loss, kick to the gut.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. That's how I feel. BS was like, there's only so. That's the name of the guy. He said, there's only so much you can do via trade. The Niners just have too many injuries, and they have a lot of guys about to come back. Just ride it out, see what happens. Hope those draft picks can turn into the next generation of all pros and Pro Bowlers. Okay, but I mean, can we get out of fucking Candyland and get back in reality? Yeah. Here's reality. You want to hear reality? Here's reality. This is what the Niners have spent number 1 picks on: Trey Lance, Reuben Foster, Solomon Thomas, Mike McGlinchey, Javon Kinlaw, and recently, injured all the time Ricky Pearsall and Mikael Williams, Mr. One Sack.
And Brandon Ayuk, he also was a first.
Well, no, I mean, Ayuk and Bosa were good picks, but I'm just saying of the bad picks. They wasted number 1s. They've wasted 5 number 1s during this regime. They've wasted 3 number 2s. Dante Pettis, Aaron Banks is no longer here. If you're not here for the second contract, that's a wasted pick. Drake Jackson in round 2 was a waste. But what's really a joke is they've blown 10 picks in the 3rd round. Keller Witherspoon, C.J. Beathard, Tarvarius Moore, Jalen Hurd, Trey Sermon, Ambry Thomas, Ty Davis Price, Danny Gray, Jake Moody, Cam Latu. Dude, that's 10 misses on day 2 of the draft on just the 3rd round alone. That's 18. That's 18 day 1 or day 2 picks that the 49ers have gotten 0 from and have 0 to show on their roster. And so in 9 drafts, they have 18 misses in the first 3 rounds. They're averaging 2 misses per year in the first 3 rounds. And Niner fans are going to sit there and be like, I'm glad they didn't trade.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It makes sense. You're absolutely right. That's what I'm saying. You can trade those picks because you're usually not hitting on those picks.
You don't hit.
A proven start. Listen, the Dallas Cowboys, they're what? 2, 3, 5-1. They just went and traded for Quinnen Williams. Do you think they're going to make playoffs? Probably not. But they said, screw it. We want to make this team better. They went and grabbed a fucking superstar. Now, I'm not saying the Niners need to get a superstar. Now, I know a lot of their players are injured. But at least try to get some type of juice. Because I agree with that comment that you read that, hey, this team is 6-3 despite of the injuries. They still got a chance. The NFC is crazy. Look, Tucker Kraft tore his ACL. Teams are falling apart this year. Nobody's safe this year. Injuries are crazy. I hate it. But the Niners are still in a good position. They're 3-0 in the division. They're going to make the playoffs, regardless of how unless they lose every game. They're going to make the playoffs. They still got a chance to make a run. Because you know why? because of the reason they're 6-3 with all these depleted players, their coaching is unbelievable. Kyle Shanahan this year, masterclass coaching. I got to give him so much respect this year. And Robert Saleh, look what he's done with the ragtag group of defensive players. A lot of rookies. I'm not going to sit here and bank on just rookies. Like, yes, they're going to get better, but CJ West isn't turning into Quinnen Williams overnight. Like, these guys aren't turning into superstars overnight. You owe it to this team to give them a little bit of juice, give them a star, give them like one good veteran to help them out. Like, yes, these young players are going to go through ups and downs, but give them a good veteran. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, I really thought at least make one move. At some point in the day this morning, Larry, I'm sitting there, we're all refreshing your phone. I think John Lynch slept in today. I really do. I really do think he slept in. And I know a lot of people are like, okay, the Jermaine Johnson, I want to use that one specifically because apparently, right, they were trying to get him. They called in. The Jets wanted a second-round pick. I would have sent the second-round pick for Jermaine Johnson because he's going to be better than anybody they draft, most likely. Big chance that he is. The only thing I wouldn't do is trade a first-round pick because they desperately need to fix this offensive line next year. But knowing the Niners, they're not going to draft the offensive lineman. They're probably going to take another defensive lineman in the first round. And I'm gonna be sick. That's how it goes.
I think they're going offensive lineman this year. But I mean, listen to this one. Joe S619. It's the correct move. The entire team is hurt. You don't trade. I like how this guy assumes all these different things. He goes, it's the correct move. The entire team is hurt. You don't trade valuable picks for a half-year rental. That's crazy. Keep the picks and draft well, regroup for 2026. Who is suggesting that they should trade a bunch of draft picks for a half-year rental? Who? I'd like to know that. I like how he just assumes that the only players you can get are guys who are rental players. I mean, why? I mean, they were supposedly talking to Miami about Bradley Chubb. He signed through 2027.
Yeah, exactly.
Rental this. And as far as, okay, you don't make a trade, that's fine. But, I mean, it to me, it's like you're looking at a team that I think is just flawed right now. They can't rush the passer at all, and they have all these young DBs. And it's like, why do you need a pass rush? You need a pass rush to protect your young DBs. Why invest 5 draft choices in young DBs if you're going to have a terrible pass rush and they're all going to lose their confidence? I don't understand that. I don't get that.
And I think that is the reason, like, I think, again, they're going to make the playoffs. And for the comments that said, oh, we're just going to lose in the playoffs, the reason we're going to probably lose in the playoffs is because we don't have a pass rush. If we would have added maybe one nice little player here, I think that would have been enough juice because, look, Bryce Huff's coming back. I like Bryce Huff. I think Clelin Ferrell that was a good addition. Like, he really played great in his first game. He's only going to get better for us. Keon White, it's going to take him some time. He's got to learn the system, but I think they're using him as that Swiss Army knife type guy. Michael, he played inside. He's going to play outside. He's going to kind of do a dual role. I know they did that with Omenihu before. So Keon White, I'm not expecting big numbers, but I'm expecting him to help, interior rush. I think those are good. Sam O really stepped up. So yes, you have a good base, but you're still not getting enough rush to the quarterback. You give me one more guy with a little bit of juice. You could have got Chubb. You could have got, I guess Trey Hendrickson was out of the picture because I wouldn't have given up a first round for Trey Hendrickson. But if you could have got Bradley Chubb, I really think, or Jermaine Johnson, I think those two guys could have really helped give you a little bit of juice that they're going to miss. In the playoffs, you have to get to the quarterback. But in the end, Larry, I mean, I get it. I see what they're doing. They're going to ride with who they got. They want to see what this team's about. They're 6-3. You see what they can go. I know a lot of people said they threw the white flag on the season. I don't think they did that. I still think they're going to be competitive because they've been playing, with their hearts on the line. They've been playing their ass off. This team has just been gutting it out every week, and I think they're going to continue to do it. But it definitely would have been nice to add maybe just one more guy. But I don't see it as the season's over like a lot of people punt it. They're still going to make the playoffs despite all this craziness. But, they're going to see who they have and go with them and let those young players develop. That's what it is. It is what it is.
It is pretty funny, though, because it's like you're sitting there going, well, you're going to let the young players develop, but wouldn't they how are your young DBs going to develop when they're just getting roasted because you can't force Stafford to hold the Stafford's going to hold the ball for 10 seconds on a play this Sunday, and who's going to is the fact that the Niners did not get pass rush going to help develop these young DBs? I don't see that at all. I see it as the opposite. King Bezos Buck says if the league wasn't up for grabs, I'd get it, but the league is up for grabs, and the Super Bowl is at Levi's. That's what is fucking disappointing about this. Yeah. It's like, and it's like, it's such a weird time to just I kind of wonder if it, because Lynch and Shanahan will never, ever, ever paint themselves as employees. They got too big of egos. They're too much of like, hey, we are the masters of our universe, but they were employees. They work for Jed. They work for Dr. John York. It's possible that this was all driven from Jed, that Jed was like, hey, cut the money. Don't spend money. I mean, the Niners dominate in the undrafted market, and they spent nothing in the undrafted market. They were 26th in undrafted free agent spending. Why? I mean, if you're that good at finding undrafted free agents, why are you spending why are you 26th in the league in that category of spending? I really think it was just Jed. And I think there's a very good chance that Jed maybe said to these guys, that's it. We've given you all the assets. We've given you all the things that we've paid Brock. We've paid this guy. We've paid all these guys. We're not going any further down this road. We're not giving away our draft capital in the future. We don't, it may be something where this regime has lost a little face with the ownership group. Otherwise, so what now? Are we supposed to believe that John and Kyle opted to not add to this team in the midst of a wide open conference where they're undefeated in the division and 5-1 in the conference? I mean, you're right. They're going to the playoffs most likely, and they're going to have their chance once they get there. But it's disappointing to me. It's like Lynch said a month ago. I mean, I kind of think it's from Jed. Here's why, because the entire time, I've been covering this team the whole year. The entire time, any point in this season, anybody brought up trade deadline, Kyle downplayed it, John downplayed it. It was like they already knew. It was like they knew, oh, Jed's not going for that. We've already done that. We can't do that. There's not going to be any money there. There's not going to be any draft capital there. And it's possible that Jed said, hey, look, you guys have effed up 18 picks in the first 3 rounds. We're not trading future draft capital so that you can, cover for the roster this year. We're just not doing it. So it's possible he kind of yanked their sheets and blocked them, and they're never going to say that. They're never going to throw them under the bus. They're never going to say, Jed told us we couldn't spend money. There's no way they're going to do that. They're going to cover for him. But I think it stems from him. I don't buy for John Lynch popularized the midseason trade. And this whole idea, well, they're not one player away. How do you know? I mean, here's the other thing. All this talk about they shouldn't trade all this for a rental. Where would John Lynch be if it wasn't for the Trent Williams trade and the Christian McCaffrey trade?
Yeah, I agree.
So come on, don't tell me that they're not one player away. It's not like you have to trade your first round draft choice for 5 weeks of a player that is going to walk away in free agency. Nobody, not me, not Raj, not Grant, not Dave, not anybody. Nobody was advocating for trading their first round pick to rent a mediocre player for 5 weeks. Nobody. Yeah, stop putting that out there like that's the argument. I hate people who do this. They did the right thing. They shouldn't have traded away their number 1 draft choice for a 5-week rental of a mediocre player. Who the fuck advocated that?
No, nobody said that. But the Niners have done worse. They traded 3 first-round picks. Arguments. They traded 3 first-round picks to move up to the draft to get a quarterback. That's a whole other story. But the thing is, Larry, even if they traded for a guy a rental, whatever, let's say they wouldn't got a guy like Trey Hendrickson, perfect example, because he's not under contract this offseason, right? They could have kept him on the team. They could have franchise tagged him, because what happens when you come to a new team? You see the surroundings. You're like, I kind of like it here. Why do I want to leave? And if you're winning, the grass isn't greener everywhere. You're going to stay here. And the Niners probably could have kept one of their rentals. Obviously, you don't want to give up a first-round pick because you really hold those draft picks highly. But if you make it a deep run to the playoffs, if you make it to the Super Bowl, Larry, your first-round pick is probably like a second-round pick anyways. It's not a very high pick. You're drafting at the end of the first round. So it's basically like a second-round pick. So if you really think about it, you're not really losing a first-round pick if you end up getting if you end up becoming a deep playoff team, you make it to the NFC Championship game or maybe a Super Bowl, a draft pick's a second-round pick technically. So I don't know. And again, going back to their draft history, man, it's just fucking throw the pick away, man. I don't care about these. I'm in the sense of F them draft picks. Now I get it. One player's not going to change this team around, but one player can make a big difference. Like you said, CMC, the 49 a couple years back, they went and traded for Emmanuel Sanders. Holy crap. He changed the complexity of that. I mean, that was a huge trade. One man made a big difference on this team. So yeah, they can make a big difference. He's not going to be the reason why you make a Super Bowl, but if you get one big time pass rusher on this defense, it would have helped tremendously. But we'll see what I'm excited to hear what Kyle Shanahan has to say tomorrow in the presser. I am so excited to hear what he has to say because he's going to say, well, we did our due diligence. The price wasn't there. We like who he's going to say all the PR stuff. And I'm really interested to hear what he says tomorrow.
Well, if you could ask him one question, what would you want to ask him?
Why the hell didn't you make a trade? Why the hell didn't you make a trade, Kyle? I
get Kofi here in the on Twitter saying Seattle and Philly are already better teams than the Niners. Trading for a single pass rusher was not going to change that. Well, so the 49ers. So the only way you can add a player is if you're like the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl. The only time you can ever get any help is if you're already considered to be the best team. So if you're just are the 49ers the worst team? No. Are they the best team? No. But wouldn't you, all I would say is you traded for CMC. He didn't go away after 1 year. You traded for Trent Williams. He didn't go away after 1 year. Keep building. Yeah. It's all about building. Keep building. Keep adding players. Yeah, instead, they didn't add anybody. Their competition did add guys. And it's just like do you think they were actually playing for 26? I mean, Dieter has come out all year and been like, they've never been about 25. They're always about 26. I don't even bother to ask Shanahan that question because I know he'll laugh the notion of that. And it's just kind of absurd. But what do you think of Dieter's assertion that 25 was never in the cards, that they always looked at 26 as their go time? I mean, to me, that is so effing stupid because Trent Williams could announce literally on March 1st that he's not playing in 2026. And then your star left tackle leaves. And that alone would make you a worse team. So this whole, they're playing for 26. If they were, it's stupid. And if they weren't, then I don't think they were, because are you telling me that they're not trying to win in 2025, that they're really all about 2026? I mean, and why would that make sense? Why would it make sense because Kittle's better next year, because CMC's better next year, because Bosa's better next year, because Warner's better next year, because Trent's, I mean, some of these guys will get healthy, but at the beginning of the year, it was totally illogical to sit there and be like, our old core, let's not try to win this year. Let's try to win next year when they're older. I mean, that makes no sense.
It makes no sense, Larry. That might be the dumbest take I've seen or heard at all. Because listen, before the season, everybody's gung-ho. Fred Warner got his contract extension. Kittle got his contract extension. Everybody's like, oh my God, Trent Williams is back. He's healthy. Oh my God, CMC healthy. Like, if you look at this roster before all the injuries, this team was loaded. And you look at how many good players you had. You're excited. Brock Purdy got his contract. You had hyped up about the rookie class. Ricky Pearsall, year 2. You knew Brandon Ayuk would be coming back. That's stupid to me. I think this roster was very good when the season started. It still is a good roster. They still got a lot of players. De'Amon Lenore, right? You extended him before the season started. I feel like the Niners front office, they had to save some cap space. That's what, they extended all these players. They didn't bring in a lot of free agents that people wanted, or returning players. They didn't bring back Greenlaw, Hufanga, blah, 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 whatever. But they had a lot of expiring contracts they wanted to get off of because they had to keep their core players, which was smart. And they drafted and they loaded up on draft picks, which is, what they do. But I feel like this I don't think they punted away. I think if you look at this team, you didn't expect the injuries. Nobody expected Fred Warner to get hurt for the season. Nick Bosa, fucking Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall. Like, nobody expected these injuries. Like, of course, you're going to have some, but the sheer amount of injuries, Larry, no, they didn't punt the season. And they did bring in players. They brought in Bryce Huff. That was a good move. They brought in a few other people, Brian Robinson. Like, they did bring in players. It's just they didn't bring in a big name, right, that everybody wanted. But I feel like they did a good enough job to get this roster to be a contender. But now these injuries have depleted you. And I think that's why I feel like you should have made a move, because you lost a lot of players. You still are in contention. You could have got one more piece to kind of keep this engine revved up. Now it's still going to be a little harder to make a deep run. But I don't think they punted this season away. That's a stupid argument to me. It's so dumb. But one more take too.
Go ahead.
One more thing, Larry. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, you want to keep the draft picks. You want to keep the draft picks and you don't want to trade the draft picks. Like, I know there's a lot of people that say that. But listen, the Niners, how many times do they get compensatory pick? Do you know how many every year they're like the top? They're one of the top teams with the amount of draft picks they get. So even if they would have traded away some draft picks there, they would have got some comp picks back anyway. So I don't feel like they would have been wasting draft picks, because they get those mid-round picks, and that's where the Niners excel at. So I don't even think it would have been big if they would have traded away draft picks today.
I mean, they oftentimes squander their draft picks. Peter Anthony Kinzel on X says, Larry, the question is, why stand pat? I mean, that's the other thing. It's like, if you really don't think you got a good enough team, and you've got a player like Juwan Jennings, and the Steelers are out there looking for a receiver, and you've got all these other receivers, Pearsall coming back and Bourne, and you're probably not going to sign JJ. Why did you stand pat? Why are you retaining JJ? If you don't want to add to your mix, why wouldn't you trade away a guy who maybe could have given you another? If you're so in love with your draft picks, why not trade JJ for a draft pick while you can get one for him, when you're obviously not going to play him? You're not going to pay him. I mean, I don't. That one I didn't get either. It's like,
yeah,
so
I was shocked they kept Juwan. I thought they would trade him unless nobody wanted him. Maybe it just didn't make sense with the way they were reaching out. Juwan Jennings thought he was going to get traded, deleted his page this weekend, which he's done many times, but deactivated. He's like, I'm going to get traded. But yeah, I thought Juwan would get traded because he's a free agent coming into this offseason, right? So I don't think they're going to keep him around there. I don't think they're going to keep Juwan Jennings. So to me, it's a little surprising, but I'm seeing crazier things. You never know. Maybe they do keep him at the offseason, but I don't know. I thought they'd trade Jennings. That was surprising to me.
I mean, they've missed on 18 picks in the first 3 rounds in the last 9 drafts. They're averaging 2 misses per first 2 rounds in the last 9 drafts. So it's like these incredibly valuable picks that you can't move. Well, you're not getting much out of them. I mean, could you imagine how much better the 49ers would be right now if, instead of missing 18 times in the first 3 rounds over the last 9 drafts, if they had missed, I don't know, half as much? Let's say they missed once a year. Once a year, they missed 9 times in the first, second, and third rounds. They missed 9 times in since they've been here in the first 3 rounds. Okay, 9 times. That means they would have 9 more players on their roster from rounds 1, 2, or 3 of the draft. How much better do you think the 49ers would be as a team right now if they had 9 players that they drafted in rounds 1, 2, or 3 in the last 9 drafts still on the roster? They'd be a whole different team. I mean, that's 9 extra players, and that's if they just missed on half their picks. What if they actually kicked ass and missed on very few of their picks? It's really, retain your picks, blow your picks, but then just keep retaining your picks.
Again, they just haven't had a good track record in the first 2-3 rounds of drafts. But again, they're good at late round picks, so you're going to keep those. You're going to invest in those, which again they keep getting with the comp picks. But I don't know. I also feel like it's kind of, I've seen this take around. A lot of people are saying it's kind of like disrespectful to the players now on your team, because you're just saying, all right, we're just going to roll with what we have. If it's good enough, it's good enough. It's not like people like CMC. CMC's busting his ass off this year. George Kittle busted his ass to get back from this injury, pretty quickly. He tore his hamstring and he came back in 6 weeks. It's incredible. these guys are fighting hard. Trent Williams is playing his ass off at his advanced, for offensive lineman. He's up there in age, and these guys are grinding, man, putting their heart and soul in there. Robert Saleh has been coaching his ass off. And you mean to tell me you couldn't get him one guy? Arden Key, like something. I don't know. I feel like,
and I like how soft Niner fans are. I can't even say that I'm disappointed that a 6-3 football team that has a Hall of Fame left tackle that may not play next year and has two quarterbacks they can win with and a really good offensive coach and a really good defensive coach didn't add a piece to be more competitive in the playoffs. And now that's somehow a terrible take that I said I'm disappointed. Nate on here is like, disappointment is an understatement. Right. Then Michael's like, you're back to your Grant Cohn mode. Should we have traded our draft capital for guys that are not surefire superstars or game changers? Yeah, because that's what all the Niners draft picks are. They're all surefire superstars. So now I love this standard. Now it's not worth trading any draft capital unless you're getting a surefire superstar. I mean, what?
Crazy.
He says, maybe we can throw in some barbecue from your sponsor. Maybe you should sit this out. It's like, dude, Michael, you're a fucking moron. I don't know what to say about you. You're a fucking moron. All I got to say is they punted on this season. They punted on trying to win the Super Bowl. They can go to the playoffs, but they can't win. They can go to the playoffs, but they can't win the Super Bowl. Not when you have no rush. You can't win the Super Bowl with no rush. You can't put no heat on the quarterback and win the Super Bowl. You can't. There's too many other good teams. There's too many other. I mean, look, they made the Houston Texans offense look good. Mm-hmm. The Houston Texans offense is horrible, absolutely horrible, and they made it look good. So what did they do today? They didn't do anything to help themselves. They needed help. I mean, the bottom line is this, and this is the truth. They needed help. They've got a decent team. They're competitive for a playoff berth. They're probably going to the playoffs. They needed help to make themselves a legitimate Super Bowl contender. They didn't get that help. Thus, they're not a legitimate Super Bowl contender. That's how I feel about it. And I if people want to disagree with me, fine. But they have I would give them like a 2% chance of winning the Super Bowl, where if they'd gotten some help, I would have given them more like a 15 or 20% chance. Because I do think it's wide open. But without that help, no, they can't do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think, again, I'm not going to say one player would have made their odds go up to like 100%. Oh, my God. But, yeah, you look at this roster, and it's like, dang, they got no elite receivers. Their O-line's not the great, other than Trent Williams, although they played better, but it's the Giants. Can you really say that you beat an elite team? No, a two-win team. So O-line played better. You got Christian McCaffrey, who's probably he's like sacrificing the whole team to stay healthy. The guy's like Thanos collecting Infinity Stones. It's unreal. You got George Kittle, but this team is depleted. They got no elite wide receiver. Their cornerbacks are, very young. You got one good cornerback. Everybody else is, still trying to figure out the league. You got no pass rush. You're 6-3. That tells me that this is a good football organization. Like, your coach is damn good. You give me one good player on this defense, it would have made such a big difference. But at the end of the day, they're 6-3, and somehow they're figuring out ways to win. I'm excited to see what they could do the rest of the year. A lot of people are going to count them out. A lot of fans are counting them out. And I think that this team's going to say, all right, we're going to run with that and prove what we can do, which is in a way, it's going to fire them up. I feel like they're going to play with a lot of, chips on their shoulder. I think they're going to play with that underdog mentality. And I think they're going to I think they're better than a lot of people give them credit for. Although, again, the big takeaway is, yes, this team is better, but you could have been even better by adding it, because your competition, the Eagles, they don't care about their draft picks. They got better, and you're going to have to play them probably in the playoffs. So that's a team that got better. Can you beat them? Probably, but it's going to be harder now because you didn't better your team. So to me, that's the biggest issue is, damn, man, we could have at least got this good team to be a little bit better. But hey, we're going to ride with who we came with, and I'm excited to see where we go with this team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they'll probably make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going anywhere. I would love it if they were going somewhere, but this game on Sunday, I think, is going to be brutal.
You think so? You don't give us a chance?
No,
Crazy,
because you got Matthew Stafford and Stafford last week, threw for 281 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he's got Puka, Devontae, Higbee, Kyron. They're not going to take the Niners lightly like they did the first time. I think they're going to put up 35 points. I would say, Rams 35, 49ers 20, 35. 20.
I think it's going to be a lot closer, Larry. You know why?
What's that?
Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay have been coaching together for the start of their career. They know these two guys know each other. It's going to be a chess game. It's going to be very close because they know each other's game. Mac Jones diced up the Rams last time he played them. I honestly think it's going to be close. Now, will the Niners win? I don't know. It depends if they can get the turnovers, which they haven't. But Stafford can slice us up. I don't care. The Niners know how to score on the damn Rams. This is going to be a close game. Puka Nakua's got a rib injury. Keep an eye on that situation. That's all I'm going to say. He'll probably play, but that's all I'm going to say. He's got a rib injury. They got a great team, but the Niners, they play these division games a little different. Everybody in the divisions, they're all good teams in this division. It's the best division in the NFL probably. So I expect it to be close just because it is a division game. I'm not going to sit here and say the Rams are going to blow us up. Everybody's counting the Niners out. All the Niners fans, we're going to get blown out. It's going to be a close game. Trust me, it's going to be a close game, Larry.
Yeah, I love you, Raj.
I know.
This thing reeks of 35-17.
When I'm right, Larry, give me
I'm rooting for him. I just ain't betting it. There's no way I would bet that. But I hear you. I mean, it's Niners Rams. It's a division game. Anything can happen. But the Rams lost the first game, and they're going to show up ready in this game. And
so are the Niners.
I think they're going to absolutely.
You can't.
But if you can't pressure Stafford, how do you? And you can't. I mean, really. I mean, they made the Houston Texans horrible offense look good. This Rams offense is good. It's like they made the Texans look good, even though the Texans are shitty. But the Niners they're going up against the Rams offense. I don't know if you've checked the numbers. The Rams passing offense is number 1 in pro football. Number 1. The Houston Texans passing offense was terrible. And they still lit up the Niners. This is the number 1 passing offense, and the 49ers are 20th in pass defense. And that some of those stats included Bosa, so they're really probably worse than that. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but
you know what? You're forgetting
Rams 35, 49ers 15 or 17.
You're forgetting a couple of things, Larry. D'Amico Ryans was the difference maker in that Houston game. Like, he was ready to take down Kyle. Like, he was probably, I got to beat my old protege. I got to beat Kyle. He was studying it. And that's the difference. It was Kyle got out coached by D'Amico Ryans. Their defensive line was nothing. I get it. But let me tell you something, Larry. The difference this week, I know you're saying they don't have pass. Bryce Huff is back this week. That is going to get them a little bit better in the pass rush department. I'm telling you, not when it's a close game and you're sitting there biting your fingernails like, oh my God, it's down to the wire. Remember, I told you, Larry, it's gonna be a close game. I'm telling you.
Don't forget this though. The first game was an aberration. It absolutely was. Why? The Rams ran for 5 yards a carry and just ran 16 times. They just didn't want to run that much. They passed it 47 times. They ran 16 times. They ran for 5 yards a carry. The 49ers ran 33 times for 2.2 yards a carry. They could not run, and they just ran against the wall. They ran it, into a brick wall all day. And then Kendrick Bourne had his career game in that game, 10 catches for 142 yards. And Mac Jones was amazing that night. 342 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not to mention that, Fred Warner had 12 tackles in that game. That's pretty damn good. 12 tackles is a lot. You're not going to have that. So, I'm being realistic. I think it's going to be something like, 35-10, 35-17. I think Niners.
Okay. We'll see.
What do you think of Burford at left guard? Did you like Burford? Is Burford better is he an upgrade? Because he gave up a sack but they ran effectively behind him.
He was better than Connor Colby has been this season, which I know he's a rookie. He's still developing. He's been up and down. And he looked a lot better than Ben Barch, honestly. And Ben Barch, you can't count on him to be healthy. I expect him to come back and then re-aggravate his hamstring. I just don't trust Ben Barch. Yeah, Burford, first game back, I thought he played pretty good. He didn't have a lot of penalties, which he usually does. I mean, it wasn't an elite game, but I feel like it was better than what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. And they ran the ball really good. Him and Trent, they had a good connection on that left side of the line. And if you think about it, Trent is always good when he doesn't have to show the ropes to I feel like with Connor Colby, he was trying to explain things too much to him. The communication wasn't good. Spencer Burford and Trent Williams trained in the offseason together a couple times. So I feel like their communication was better and they just had a little bit more chemistry and they were opening up those lanes like parting the Red Sea. So I liked his ability in the run game. Also, Kyle Juszczyk was blocking like a crazy man this weekend. So I think it was better. I want to see him continue to get that left guard spot and see where it goes. Obviously, yeah, he let up a sack. You can't do that. But I feel like the O-line played a lot better this week. It wasn't great, but it was a little bit better, especially on that side. But Colton McKivitz, that guy was getting crushed. One guy I'll say that I also like, I like Matt Hennessy. I feel like I like him better than Jake Brendel. And I know Kyle Shanahan was threatening us to say that Jake Brendel has a chance this week. He can take some more time off. Keep that hamstring on ice. Keep stretching it. I thought Matt Hennessy's been pretty good in relief of Jake Brendel.
How would you play your hand at quarterback? When do you go back to Brock? Would you go back to Brock? Some people don't want to go back to Brock. Some people want to stay with Mac Jones. There's some portion of the Niner fan base that feels that Mac Jones is better than Brock. I kind of feel like Brock's better than Mac. I think it's very close, but I think the mobility is the difference. But if you mix in the turf toe and then, start to the impact that has on Brock, I think that version of Brock is not as good as Mac Jones. So I would stay with Mac Jones regardless of what Purdy says, regardless of how he feels until the bye week. And then Shanahan says he's going to have pain all year. So what's realistic? I would say it's probably more realistic to bring him in the bye week, let him play those final 4 games as the quarterback. If he can get through those 4 games, great. Then he's your starter in the playoffs. If somewhere along the line there in the last 4 games of the year, he hurts the turf toe and can't go, then you can go back to Mac Jones and you can finish the season with Mac Jones. But you got to go back to Purdy at some point. But I wouldn't do it this week. And we're now in week 10, right? So then it's like week 11, week 12, week 13, then you got the bye week. I think if I were them, I would wait on I'd stay with Mac until the bye week and then ride with Purdy from the bye week on. How would you handle the quarterback situation? Eventually they're going back to Purdy. When do you think's the best time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this week I'm keeping Mac Jones in there, but that's a tough question because that toe, like he said, and I've said it all along, it's a very nagging injury. It's a chronic issue. And if Brock Purdy's major upgrade over Mac Jones is mobility, the toe is going to hamper that mobility. So he's never going to be that quarterback that he was before the injury until he takes some time, maybe the offseason. Honestly, I'm going to roll with Mac because I feel like there's too much of a risk for Brock Purdy to re-aggravate that toe. If he's 100% and he can go out there and be mobile on that toe, yeah, you bring him back. You're paying him $53 million. You can't waste him on the bench. But it's kind of crazy to me. If his only upgrade over Mac is the mobility, you're paying him over $50 million more because of the mobility. It's kind of crazy. Now, granted, nobody expected Mac to be that good of a quarterback, because he's had a bad career other than his first year. But Kyle has resurrected his career. He's turned his career around. I mean, there was a point where he was 14 for 14 this week. Bloody nose didn't stop him. The guy's tough. He plays through a lot of injuries. He's an old school player. I like what I've seen out of Mac Jones. He understands the offense. I can see why Kyle wanted him a couple years ago. But to answer the question, long story short, I'm sticking with Mac, man. Until Mac Jones proves otherwise. If Mac Jones has like 2 straight clunkers and it's like, maybe he's not that guy, then you got to bring back Brock. But right now, until Mac falters and falls on his face, I'm just going to keep him, man, because this team is winning with Mac Jones.
It's funny. My buddy Vish on here, Kyle Madsen's like, they were always playing for 2026, just idiot comment of all time. But then Vish Kumaran says,
Yeah.
I never understand this. He said, you can't look at the landscape of the NFL and say 2025 is all about 2026 for the Niners and beyond. The 49ers paid $140 million fully guaranteed to 2 players this season, and one of those guys is 32 years of age. They 100% were trying to win this year, regardless of expectations being tempered. Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, does it make you feel better to say, oh, well, they weren't really trying to win this year? I mean, if that makes you feel better, then go keep saying it, I guess. But that's a bunch of bullshit. They were trying to win this year. They absolutely were. And I'm in that locker room every day. Believe me, there's absolutely nothing about the coaches, the players, or anything regarding actual football that said anything about, you know what? They really are all about next year. That's
a dumb take, man.
It is. It really is. By the way, Tatum Bethune has 50 tackles since week 6. It leads the NFL. How great was Tatum Bethune? 16 tackles. I told people after he had 10, I'm like, you know what? 10's the baseline, man. This guy's going to have 15 in a game. People are like, oh, are you serious, Krug? Come on. I'm like, yes. This guy is a tackling machine. He's going to have a 15 tackle game. I was wrong. It was a 16 tackle game. What do you make of Tatum Bethune?
Love him. He's got a high motor. Listen, he was good in Florida State. I remember when we drafted him, I was like, okay, nice little 8-round pick. The 49ers, if there's one position that they know how to draft, Larry, it's a linebacker. These guys know how to do linebackers. Listen, man. And Johnny Holland's the best linebacker coach in the business, man. This man, Tatum Bethune, he came right in. He's taking the Mike spot. And he had a bad game the week before. Like, I'll give him that. The first game he played, first game he stepped in for Fred, you could tell he just wanted to go out there and make Fred proud, right? Atlanta game. Last week was bad. It wasn't his best game. But this week, man, he came back and he bounced back so well. He was all over the field, flying. He was in the backfield. He was stuffing the run. Like this, Tatum Bethune, he's got talent, man. And I liked his interview after the game. He says, look, it's starting to slow down for me. It's coming together. And that's what you want to hear. You want to hear him knowing it's coming together. And also, being the Mike linebacker stuff, you got to communicate everything. And I feel like his voice is getting bigger in that huddle. And that's what it is. The players have to trust you and know you know what you're doing. You're calling your spots. And I think as the weeks continue, he's going to get more comfortable calling those shots. And Tatum Bethune, 16 tackles, man. That's incredible. He played really, really good. And I think he's going to continue to play it at that high level. Because, again, he's trying to make sure Fred is proud of him. And I like that out of Tatum. He's like, listen, man, I just got to make Fred proud. And that's whatever you got to use for motivation. I thought he had a hell of a game.
Did the Niners take the right guy at 11, or should they have taken this guy instead?
Walter Nolan.
Cardinals had to wait.
Well, let's see. We'll put the volume down. But, yeah, Walter Nolan had an amazing Thursday nighter. What do you think? Here he is against Dallas. Look at this move.
Holy shit. Oh,
he's got the same number of sacks as Mikel has in 9 games. This guy has it in 1 game. But this was the guy that I really wanted the most, I think, in the draft. I probably did the most mock drafts with either Jalen Walker or Walter Nolan. I kind of looked at that as Walker as the edge rush piece, even though he was a linebacker, but he was so great at Georgia. And Nolan was such a 5-star monster at A&M, then finished up at Ole Miss. And I just was like, you know what? Walter Nolan, Jalen Walker, those were kind of the 2 guys I wanted. Then when we got a little closer to the draft, I was thinking maybe Jedi Barron from Texas, because I really thought, man, he's a dominating corner. But I think ultimately I probably would have gone with Walter Nolan or Jalen Walker. The Niners went with Mikel. Obviously, he's now out for the year. He did some good things. He only had 1 sack. He's really more of an undersized interior player than he is a edge player. But what do you think? Did you see Walter Nolan last night? Should the Niners have drafted? They draft the wrong guy at 11.
I wouldn't say they drafted the wrong guy, but that's the guy I want. When I did my mocks, that was
who did you want?
That's who I want. I wanted Walter Nolan. I honestly was shocked it wasn't. I had the graphic ready to go. I thought it was gonna be Walter Nolan. I was mocking him or some of the offensive linemen. I was like, okay, it's gonna be an O lineman. There's a bevy of them there. I was like, it's gonna be O line. If they don't go O line, they'll get Walter Nolan. Like I was stuck on that. I didn't think they'd get anybody else as far as D lineman because I felt like he was the best like pass rushing interior lineman. He's good. But I think if the Niners would have drafted him, here's the thing. And, he would have been hurt. He wouldn't have played for 9 weeks. People would have been pissed off because he didn't play for first week. But he came in last night and he looked impressive. So I was surprised we didn't draft him. Now, I liked Michael. I thought he was a good player out of Georgia. It's unfortunate injury, but he was never like a pass rush specialist. And I thought that's what we were trying to get, is that pass rush specialist to help Bosa and everything. And I felt like both Walter Nolan would have made more sense, because I felt like Walter Nolan was more like that Quinnen Williams type, pass rusher from the inside. And Robert Saleh coming from the Jets, he had Quinnen. I felt like I thought like that's where his mindset was with this draft. But I didn't hate the Michael Williams pick. I liked it. But, it's unfortunate he got hurt. Regardless if you think he's good or not, that's a shitty injury.
No, I think he is good. I think he's better than his stats. I see what people like in Mikel. He's a badass inside. He's tough. He's a good interior rusher. They have value. I like him. Now, I was hoping that they would trade for Tavondre Sweat. Why? Because I think in a lot of ways, Sweat inside, who's 366, next to Mikel, who's 275 or whatever, that would have been a really awesome tandem for years ahead. And that's the kind of guy that I was hoping that they would get. All right, let's take a quick time out and tell people 49er football season is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry. Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. Now, we're not going to do a lineup tonight, but I am going to ask you, Raj, since we have you here, if you could, I don't have the numbers in front of me as far as stats and whatnot, but is there somebody in this game with the Rams that you would like to wager on their stats? Is there a player, either a Ram or a Niner in this game Sunday, that you're like, you know what? I think this guy's going to have a big game. Who do you like?
Puka's playing, put all my money on Puka, man. That guy's a fucking stud.
Puka on what? Receptions?
Yeah, I think they're just going to pepper him with receptions, dude.
I like Stafford to put up big points. Like, I would go over the fantasy points on Stafford. I just think he's going to have a big night. But Puka, could be Devontae, but you're right.
No,
Puka's
Puka's that guy,
amazing.
The NFC's West is crazy. We got Christian McCaffrey, who's fantastic. Receiving, he's like top 8 in receptions, and he's a fucking running back. And then you got JSN from Seattle. That guy's incredible. And then you got Puka from the Rams. The NFC West, man, they got some talent. And Puka's among the best players in the league. That guy's incredible. If we play him and he's healthy, I think he's going to put up a lot of stats. I don't know anybody that's stopping Puka this weekend.
No, I hear you. And thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sleeper. And check them out. Get 100% deposit match up to $100. Use code Larry, Larry. Thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. We appreciate them. All right, one last thing, and then we'll hit our supers and we'll bolt for the door. Let's leave on kind of a positive note. One of the things that today indicated to me is that if the 49ers are going to get help, and they need help on the pass rushing. I mean, you can't lean on Robert Beal. I mean, it's like that's not going to work. So the only avenue left for the 49ers to get an additional player is to poach somebody off the practice squad or sign somebody off the street. And good players are not on the street, especially at defensive line, especially at defensive end. But I'm going to give you 5 names of guys who I looked at. I went through the entire league this afternoon and went through and looked at every single team's practice squad, who they have on there, and who might be of interest to the 49ers. And I found 5 interesting names. So I'm going to give them to you right here. New England has a defensive end named Braden Swinson, who played at LSU, 6'4", 255. He had 13 and a half sacks at LSU in 5 years there. Okay. He's super athletic. As I said, he's a lot of ways the prototype build-wise. He's on New England's practice squad. That's a name I'd be interested in. Kamon Rucker is on Baltimore's practice squad. He played at North Carolina. He's 6'1", 265. This guy had 22 sacks in 5 collegiate seasons. Pretty good pass rusher, man. Now, he's a little on the shorter side, but this guy some people look at him as an outside linebacker, but I think he could play in this wide 9. and 22 sacks in college. This guy knows how to bend the edge. Came on Rucker. Remember that name. Ethan Downs from Kansas City played at Oklahoma. 12 and a half sacks in 4 years at in Soonerland. 6'4", mid 260s, great motor, plays incredibly hard. Ethan Downs, to keep an eye on. Two last ones. Antoine Powell Ryland. This guy played at Vautech. He's on Philly's practice squad right now. This guy was a sack master deluxe in Blacksburg there at Vautech. He had 30 sacks in his career.
Wow.
That's a lot of sacks. This guy's 6'1", about 270. And he's on Philly's practice squad. And not only that, he led all rookies in the preseason with pressures. So Antoine Powell Ryland, really productive pass rusher on the Eagles. That maybe you poach him off the Eagles. And my last one, and is a name I've thrown out to you before, but I'm a big fan of Muhammad Kamara. He's on Tampa Bay's practice squad. He played at Colorado State. This guy had 30 and a half career sacks in 5 years in college, including 13 in 2023. So he was drafted by the Dolphins, and he was on their practice squad last year. This year he's been on Tampa's practice squad. But he's 6'1", 260, and he can absolutely hunt quarterbacks. He ran 4.57 coming out of the combine. And you're talking about a very fast guy at roughly 260 pounds. Keep an eye on those 5 names. Niners are going to need some help, pass rush-wise. Once again, Braden Swinson, Kamon Rucker, Ethan Downs, Mo Kamara, and Antoine Powell Ryland. Those are the five defensive ends that if I were Lynch, I would definitely be looking around at. Let's also finish. Let's hit this for the Supers. We're brought to you by Habbas Law, 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. Thanks to Omar and Tarek Habbas for being proud sponsors of the Krug Show. We appreciate them greatly. These guys do amazing stuff. They really do. Really proud to be associated with Habbas Law. They really do incredible stuff. Omar and Tarek Habbas are fantastic attorneys. They're great guys. Today's show is sponsored by Habbas Law. If you need someone in your corner, call the firm the insurance companies hope you never call, and that's Habbas Law. They'll fight to make it right. Visit habbaslaw.com on the web. And one other thing I want to say about Habbas Law, because they always have these great, they're very community-oriented. And one of the things that I want to mention here is that all Bay Area people, listen for this. If you're a recipient of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, and affected by the government shutdown, Habbas Law and Artiega's Food Center are coming together to lend a hand. Join Habbas Law this Sunday, November 9th at Artiega's at 2620 Alum Avenue in San Jose. Each household will receive about $100 in grocery assistance through a simple on-site sign-up. Proof of SNAP and address required. One recipient per household. That's the rule. While supplies last. Registration opens at 10 a.m. The event starts at 11 a.m. First come, first serve. Habbas Law always fighting to make it right. And thanks to Habbas Law for doing this kind of stuff, man. I mean, there's a lot of people that are hurting. Raj, you're not, I'm not, and I'm sure many of the people that we know are not. But there are a lot of people that are. Yeah, and you have a heart. I have a heart. Habbas Law has a heart. It's, we're getting into the colder time of the year. It's the winter months, and people, they need their food. They need they need to be able to feed their family. And this whole thing with SNAP has been a big nightmare. So
that's crazy.
So anyway, thanks to Habbas Law for doing that. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Tarek. Thank you for being great pillars of the community. And once again, Habbas Law, they'll fight to make it right. Visit them on the web at habbaslaw.com, HABBAS law.com, 1-800-INJURED. And it's things like that, Raj, that make me proud to be associated with these guys. We all got to help each other out. That's the bottom line. Nobody can do it alone. And maybe you have a big sense of a community, maybe you don't. But the bottom line is nobody gets through this world by themselves. Everybody needs a little help. And Habbas Law is trying to help out, and I'm a big fan of that. So thank you, Habbas. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Tarek. And guys, take advantage of that. If you're, don't be too proud. If you need SNAP benefits that you're not getting, and you need some assistance, we're there for you. And there's a link in the description for all the information if you need more information on this. All right, and that being said, let's hit our supers right here. And thanks to all you guys for being here today. Let's go to Tommy Huxley. He says, I've got LA by lamb slaughter 60-0. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I'm more optimistic than that, but not much. SRT, 3-5 Dallas team that just lost to Arizona were smart enough to acquire a foundational piece. That first was traded was a 27 first. Still could have got the OT in 2026. The front office blew it. Here's the thing, though. Let's just say the Niners offered exactly what Dallas offered. Who would you take? You would take Dallas's offer because Dallas is going to be worse and they're going to have a lower pick, or higher pick, I should say. Yeah. So it wasn't just they had to match Dallas's offer. They were probably going to have to beat it. And who knows? Maybe the Niners don't like Quinn and Williams. Maybe Robert Saleh didn't enjoy coaching him.
Oh, it's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, I would have loved it. The MySpace guy. Love the streams, but next time we get into CMC's crazy workload, make sure to breathe, Larry. Yeah, I cannot. It drives me bananas that the 49ers ran CMC up 10 against the Giants in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left. It's like,
take him out.
Are we the dumbest team in the world? I mean, either this guy is indispensable or he's not. And if he is indispensable, get him the hell off the field in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left up 10. I mean, the fact that he took those carries at all is criminal. And Shanahan and Lynch should be flogged for that. I mean, that's just awful. Awful. PWS. Can we get a positive take out of you, Krug? I just gave you one. I just gave you one. I like 5 guys on the practice squad that are out there, and they ought to check them out. I think those 5 guys might be able to help them out. So there's your positive take. Silent. Ice starters and aim for top blue chip O linemen and D linemen. Oh, they're not doing that.
Ice the starters and just tank the season. Stop it.
Shanahan would be forced out by the players if he tried that maneuver. Guys, we're not going to play. Trent, sit down. All you guys sit down. We're going for a blue chip O lineman. Dude, literally somebody would step up on Shanahan and say, let's fight.
I think Trent would punch him in the lip, dude. He'd punch him in the mouth. That's crazy.
Anybody who's doesn't have a contract for next year should want to just be like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm not even be on this team next year. Now you want me to tank for some offensive lineman at Oklahoma? No, sorry, I'm not down.
Yeah.
Justin Cheeseman, do you think since Adam Peters left, our draft has gotten worse, better, or the same? I think better, actually.
I think so?
It's better. Yeah, I think better. I mean, last
year was the first year without Adam Peters, right?
Without him. But I mean, Adam Peters, why do you think he signed Drake Jackson? Because that's probably his guy.
That's his guy. Yeah, I feel like
terrible draft.
This year, I think this year's draft class isn't as strong as last year's, and everybody expected this year's draft. I mean, it's still early, but a lot of them CJ West not playing, Jordan James not playing, Connor Colby got benched.
It's worse?
Marquis Siegel got benched.
You think it's worse, huh?
Than last year's draft class? Absolutely.
Let's take a look real quick. Last year, this is what you got. Pearsall, Renardo Green, Dom Pooney, Malik Mustafa.
Okay.
Grendo's nothing. Cowing's nothing. Kingston's nothing. And then you got Bethune. So you got Bethune, Mustafa, Pooney, Green, and Pearsall. So you got 5 starters.
But Pearsall,
it's pretty good.
The guy lives in a bubble.
Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, Pearsall. Yeah. Who knows about Pearsall? But I mean, Renardo Green's a really good corner. Dom Pooney, I think, is a really good offensive lineman. I think Malik Mustafa is a really good safety. And I think Tatum Bethune's a good linebacker. So that's 5. All right, this year, you got McKell, Collins, Martin. Now, I like Martin.
I know, but he's a special teamer.
Yeah, but I mean, it's early. I mean, so
he'll be good. He'll be like Tatum Bethune.
I mean, if D Winters can be D Winters now after what D Winters was as a rookie, then I don't think anybody should be negative on Nick Martin.
No, I think Nick Martin's going to be good. I'm just saying right now he's not getting. Okay. Tatum Bethune last year. If you look at Tatum Bethune's career last year, he was specialty. He didn't get a lot of burn. Nick Martin's going to follow that same mold. But the problem with Nick Martin was you drafted him in the 3rd round. Tatum Bethune was a 7th round pick.
Yeah. Okay. So, but as this thing goes on, you get more clarity. So, I'll give you an example. We know now that Garendo and Cowing and Kingston are not going to work out. Sure. I mean, I would say so. So this year, obviously, it's more recent, so you don't know. To me, the busts are Junior Bergen. He's the bust.
God, yeah.
For sure. But, I mean, I kind of like this year's draft more. I mean, this is a volume draft. You got Mikal, Collins, Martin, Stout, C.J. West. Now, I think C.J. West is going to be a good player still. I know a lot of people are, like, disenchanted with him, but he's got a broken thumb. I think you got to give him a break.
Yeah.
Jordan Watkins, I think, is going to be good. Marquise Siegel, I think, could be good. And then there's Colby, there's Rourke, there's Jordan James, and Junior Bergen. The only guy that I would draw a line through is Junior Bergen. Junior Bergen's not going to do anything in the NFL ever.
Okay. But, and here's the thing, Michael Williams, good player. That injury is going to impact his career. I don't know how good he's going to be after a torn ACL. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay. But, I mean, let's just say this. If the barometer is if the measuring stick is 5 starters, do you have 5 starters here?
No.
Mikal, starter, right?
Okay.
Collins, starter. Stout is a starter.
Okay.
And then after that, I guess it's kind of up in the air. There's 3, but I mean, there's probably 2 more there, I bet, between Colby, Rourke, Siegel, James, West.
Rourke's not starting. We got $53 million quarterback, Larry.
Well, I'm just saying, Rourke, I think still is I like Rourke. I think Rourke is a nice.
Is he going to be the quarterback over Brock Purdy?
No, not necessarily here, but like if you told me that Rourke became an NFL quarterback, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, it's a flyer. It's a day 3 flyer. It's a 7th round flyer. I mean, that's the other thing too. It's like Rourke, Colby, and Bergen were 7th round guys.
Okay.
So that's 3 7th round picks.
Tatum Bethune was a 7th round.
But I think you got 5 starters between Williams, Collins, Martin, Stout, West, Watkins, James, Siegel. That's 8 players, and all you need is 5 starters to match last year. It's close.
We'll see.
It's close. I
want to say this, though. I want to say this.
Who's the best player from either draft? How about that? If I said to you, who is the best player in the last 2 drafts, who would you say? That's tough, isn't it? Because you got Bethune, who looks great.
Looks good.
And you got Mustafa, who looks really good. Dom Pooney, I think, is going to be
Stout. I think is going to be good.
I might say Renardo.
Maybe. If Don Pooney didn't have this sophomore slump, maybe I was going to say him. But and listen, I honestly think this. Now here, this is crazy. I think Ricky Pearsall is the best draft pick out of all of them, but the man can't stay on the field. Like, that actually is the best player they drafted, but he is so injury prone that he's not the best.
Can't make the club in the tub.
It's tough, man. Unfortunate. Now, I want to say one thing.
I agree with you, by the way. I think he's a really good player who may not be able to be much of an impact if he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, agree. He's made out of glass. And
he's a great dude. I'll say that, dude. I mean, he sometimes gives me some looks because he knows I'm tearing his shit up. Basically, you know, I'm ripping him. So he knows. I mean, he hears it. So, I mean, he's not, you know, but you know what? I'll give him credit. He's not a wuss. He's not like one of these guys who's going to get all bent. He's just a pro, and he's just, you know, I like him as a guy. I mean, I got to be honest and tell the truth. If I think he's soft, then I got to say he's soft. If I think he's not good, I got to say he's not good. If I think he can't do it, I got to say he can't do it. You know, I don't work for the team, but I do like him as a guy. I think he's really competitive.
Nice. I've met him several times. I did like autograph signing. He's a super cool guy. Like,
great guy.
Love Ricky Pearsall.
And I love what I love about him, Raj. He has huge, high standards for his play. And when he doesn't play to those standards, he's pissed. You know, I like that. I like guys who are really have high standards.
Yeah, I like him. I know not a lot of people are going to agree that he's the best. He's the best player they drafted, but the problem is he's not the best because he doesn't show up on the field. I mean, last year was crazy because he got shot, but this year he's been banged up, man. And if you can't get on the field, you're never going to showcase your talent. Now, I want to say one thing I haven't got to say.
Yeah.
So we talked about the D linemen, and, you know, obviously Robert, like, they don't have a lot of great talent, but they got some guy. Evan Anderson, I don't know why they haven't called this man up. This year was last year I felt like he was a pretty good player for this team, and I think he could take a big step this year. You might as well give Evan Anderson a chance, and Sebastian Valdez, the preseason hero, give him you got nothing to lose. You didn't sign anybody. You didn't trade for anybody. Bring them in. I think they could be better than Robert Beal. Give him a chance. I want to see those two guys get a couple of reps, especially Evan Anderson. This guy, what happened to him? Why did he get demoted this year? He looked good.
It's been a very weird year, Raj. I mean, at one point they waived Evan Anderson to pick up Jordan Jefferson, And then 3-4 weeks later, they waived Jordan Jefferson and re-signed Evan Anderson. So I don't know. I mean, they've made some weird moves this year. Cosmos, as Grant said it right earlier, this is a slap to CMC. He's working his ass off for what? For who? Lynch and Shanahan are focused on 2026. Ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think CMC is only knows one way to go.
Yeah.
But I'd love to know if you had a microphone in front of his face or didn't have a microphone and you were just away from the facility and he could just be honest. It's like, dude, you're running through walls for this team and you know, they're running you out there in the fourth quarter. You know, it's like, I don't know. I mean, to me, I do know. Don't do that. I mean, don't play this guy in the fourth quarter when you're up 10 points. I don't get that at all. And sometimes I wonder if Kyle has good enough coaching staff around him. Is there nobody on the coaching? Is there nobody in his inner circle on the coaching headsets that's like, WTF? What the hell are we doing? Get him the hell out of there. What, you know, let's not risk our whole season with a meaningless carry at the end of a game against the New York Giants in week 8. You know, it's like, what are you doing? But, you know, Kyle is such a strong figure. He might not have anybody who's willing to step up to him like that. But he needs one because that was ridiculous. And that can't happen again. Silent said, classic FU from the front office to the vets, especially Trent. Wow, that's harsh, but it probably is true. Anthony Catania, Jed 100% blocked John today. That's what I think. And that is scary. Jed isn't serious about winning Super Bowls. His uncle was. Sad. Yeah, I believe this. I think Anthony Catania is right. And by the way, Anthony Catania, thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles, they're a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. Check them out. They are in Pacific Grove, California, along the Monterey Peninsula. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue down there in Pacific Grove. Anthony's at 831-521-5264. And I mentioned Anthony because he owns Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. And guys, if you're looking for a sports collectible this year, it's a great Christmas gift. No matter where you are in the continental U.S., if you order between now and the end of the calendar year, I don't care where you are, and this is really good for a lot of the people listening on YouTube. You order a sports collectible from Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles, and Anthony Catania will pay your shipping. That's right. He will pay your shipping on whatever sports collectible you add or you buy. So 831-521-5264. He will pay your shipping, free shipping from Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles between now and the end of the calendar years. Thank you to Anthony. Let's see. We got this one. Wait a second. Did I miss one here? Got that. Grant, there's that. There's this. There's this one. Okay, here we go. Cosmo says, fire Lynch and get a new GM that has overall say on players. Forget Kyle Shanahan. He and Lynch hasn't proven shit on being able to evaluate good early draft picks.
Sheesh.
People are bringing it. PWS got receipts on everyone doubting the Niners. Okay.
Keep those receipts, baby.
Doubting what? You put me down. I think they're going to get their doors blown off this week by the Rams.
I'm keeping receipt on you, Larry. Keeping receipt on your ass this weekend because they're not.
Yeah. PWS, you know where you can find me.
Yeah.
You better have backups. Michael said 49ers need their second and third round picks to find more impactful players like Ty Davis Price, Drake Jackson, Danny Gray, Jake Moody, and Nick Martin. Oh, come on. Nick, you're going to put Nick Martin on that list?
So far, he's not impactful.
Come on, Michael.
He's a third round pick. He should be playing.
Yeah, but I mean, did you hear me ask Saul about him last week? He gave a long answer as why he's not playing. I don't know if you
I heard it.
I thought it was BS or what. I don't know.
This man's a third round pick, Larry. For Christ's sakes, Fred Warner was drafted in the same round.
You know what it sounded like to me, dude? It sounded like to me like, you know, Robert Saleh just works there and the Niners are in this new mode where they're trying to emphasize improvement on special teams, and they've probably promised Brant Boyer all kinds of crap. And Brant Boyer's like, hey, Luke Gifford and Curtis Robinson are better special teamers than Nick Martin. And so this guy's sitting behind those guys. But, I mean, God, I mean, you want to prioritize one special team linebacker over Nick Martin, fine. But two special teams linebackers, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I like Curtis Robinson. I like Gifford. Those guys aren't anything close to Nick Martin.
Gifford's nothing.
They're both nothing. I mean, I love
I
Curtis
guess
Robinson.
Curtis Robinson, he's a sympathy
special
player. He
teamer.
has the ACL, special teamer. He's Walter Payton. Like I can see him getting, he's the veteran. You got to have a little bit of seniority there. I get it, but the other Luke Gifford, stop it.
I mean, I don't even have I don't have the energy to sit there and argue, not with you, but just with the whole fan base about Nick Martin. If you guys think he sucks, then all I can say is you're wrong, and eventually you're going to look really bad. So go tweet about it. And you'll be deleting those tweets. So that's all I'm going to say. Right. Or you won't be, and we'll just be laughing at your ass. Sean Shepard says, I smell biblical lamb this Sunday. Sunday Q come on its second sacrifice of the season. 49er uniform in blood of lambs plus King's gold from Levite Stadium. Wow, that's Sean. That's a lot of grass.
Was the kid typing that? Was the kid in the picture typing that?
I don't know. I can smell the smoke. Justin Cheeseman. Last time the Niners picked 11, we got Patrick Willis. That worked out. Joseph Ernberg going to be 42-9 Rams. 6-11 is coming. Oh my God!
Wow! Oh my God! Okay.
What are they now? 6-3. So he's saying they're going to lose 8 in a row.
They're going to lose all their games. Okay, that's crazy.
Come on.
Did you hear? We want to talk about draft players. You talked about last year's draft picks. I read something. I think Matt Barrows somewhere in one of his articles or something. I think Javier Vega posted the quote about it. He said that Jacob Cowing has aggravated his hamstring 4 times dating back to the fucking practice training camp. That's crazy. 4 times. Every time he comes up to speed, he re-aggravates that 4 times.
You know what also is interesting about 4 times? 4 times he supposedly had huge setbacks on his hamstring. 4 times the Niners told us nothing about it.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. Matt Barrows got that from Cowing at his locker.
That's what he said. He said, because the quote was, he told me. So it wasn't that he told me. It was Matt Barrows asked him personally.
4 times the Niners didn't share that with us.
That's fucking crazy.
Interesting.
Dude.
That's really interesting. PWS, Niners will miss Mikel's versatility and high usage.
I agree.
Yeah, no question. Nobody can play that many snaps and not be missed. Cosmo, prediction. Matthew Stafford goes 30 for 30 and 500 yards while eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Wow. Stefan says, our early round picks are worth Wendy's fries.
Oh, my God.
Wow. I don't go to Wendy's. Stefan says Martin wraps up better than D. Oh, I know. God, D Winters. Bro, you have arms. Use them. Use them, bro. I've never seen anybody. He constantly hits people with his shoulder, and he doesn't wrap up anybody. I mean, D Winters is one of the worst form tacklers I think I've ever seen. And this guy never wraps anybody. He's a hitter, not a tackler. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, come on, bro. You got to wrap. It's awesome to be able to run fast. It's cool to be able to hit, but man, you got to wrap. Raj, that's going to do it. We got Johnny Gomes, who's like, hits me on Twitter. He says, Sports Larry K, can we get Kevin Krugs to get you some AirPods for the pod? Those 2006 headphones that you use to come with the iPhone are killing me. LOL. Johnny, no. It's not about whether I can afford them. I got the channel's doing very well. We can afford them. It's the health situation.
Yeah.
They say stay away from the wireless around your brain. So
that's why I'm going to be cooked. I'm going to have dementia. Larry's not, because it's the EMF. Have you guys not seen the Twitter debate all week started by Chase Sr.?
Right.
Larry got the wired and I got the wireless. I'm a little kooky in the brain. Larry's not.
Well, that's really the main reason. I mean, Kev bought me some some wireless buds, but once I started reading the couple articles on it, my wife handed me, I was like, I know it doesn't. It would look better if I just had nothing. Or just like a little. What do you have? Like you have a little. It's just in the corner, right? You have them on right now or no?
No, I don't.
But how far are they go down? They don't go down very. Yeah, they're tiny. Yeah, so that would look better for sure than this. But I don't know. Whatever. I mean, who am I fooling? I mean, I'm going to sit there. You think I'm worried about, getting brain damage? I'm probably going to go some other way, So I probably should just wear the wireless. You're right. I'll bring on the brain damage. Okay, you got me convinced. Brain damage. Come on, bro. Sean Shepard. Levites are a tribe of priests in the Bible. Levi, my 5-year-old, obviously reads more than you, Raj. Wow. Gosh, now we're taking shots. It's always good to read the Bible, I guess. I'm a big fan of the book of Ruth. I believe they took Ruth's husband and they sent her husband to fight on the front line so they could basically take over Ruth for her. And so Ruth's husband died on the front lines. I remember reading it in the book of Ruth. So there you go. There's my Bible contribution on the Krug Show for today. All right, that is going to do it for us. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle. Thanks to Sleeper. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. Thanks, of course, to Habbas Law. And also thanks to Claudaddy Arcades. Claudaddy Arcades, 2 locations opening this summer, or this year, I should say. They have multiple locations, but Claudaddy is a great follow on Instagram at claw_daddy_arcades to find a location near you. Once again, claw_daddy_arcades to find that location. They've got brand new locations at Capitola Mall in the South Bay, as well as Visalia Mall in the Central Valley. Check out Claudaddy Arcades, who sent us to New Orleans in week 2, and it was a great trip. We really enjoyed it. Thanks to Claudaddy Arcades for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. Raj, what do you got cooking the rest of the week? You got any trade deadline came and went? Dudes, there's some mornings I'm like, I'll look at your postings and it'll be like 10 a.m. and you've already posted like 7 things. I mean, dude, you get up and just start working, huh?
I do. That's it. We just cooking, baby. That's what we do.
The grind never stops.
It doesn't. I'm probably posting in my sleep. I sometimes actually I have like scheduled posts. Like I'm like, all right, let's schedule this. Wake up. Oh, cool. It's already posted. Now let's get to work. So,
By the way, today set a record on the Krug Show. Did a stream this morning for the trade deadline. At one point, we had 10,000 people in the room. Raj,
That's a lot of people, Larry.
Bro, that's a lot of people. 10,000 people were in the room for and the Niners. Could they come up with Arden Key? Could they come up with a 7th round? No. We did a 4-hour trade deadline stream with 10,000 people in the room.
That's incredible, dude.
And the Niners did. I know it's probably the most I've ever had in the room. Do you know what the most you've ever had in the room at any day, any particular day?
Yeah, back in my old days when I was streaming the games, and all that. I remember I had one time, I think it's a playoff game. I had about probably like 10,000 people.
It's amazing.
Crazy. I'm showing the game to over like 10,000 fucking people. It was actually crazy. It was probably like between 9 to 11,000. This is Instagram Live. Like, it was the most popular stream on Instagram. Back then you can like search by like trending live. It was the biggest live stream every week. It was crazy. It was, big artists, Nicki Minaj, Ludacris, Snoop Dogg, all these big artists were live. I'd have more people on live than them because I'm streaming the game, which is crazy. I remember that was.
Dude, we were killing everybody today, including like radio stations, television stations. Crazy, it was an unbelievable thing. At one point, we had like 185 super chats. I was like 185 super chats in one show. It was an amazing day. I just wish the Niners had come through with a deal, but as I said, they've got some options in the the practice squad market. There are some good players that could be picked off. I think they're going to need 1 or 2, to be completely honest. I won't say the season's done. I think their Super Bowl chances are not very good, but I do like their chances to go to the playoffs and still win a playoff game. So anyway, that's going to do it for us. Thanks to Raj. Thanks to all of you. The links are in the description for all of our sponsors. Check it out. Best way to support the show is support the sponsors. Have a great night, and until next time, peace.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of.